Minji and Joe are having a breakfast meeting before they go off to meet with their various GMs. They have a lot to talk about this morning.
Well, I must say I am impressed, the way Liam handled this whole thing. It seems quite smooth.
Yes, as far as I can tell, the company will get through this. What is ironic though, is that we are going to talk to the GMs today about culture, and one of the biggest influences in organizational culture is the founder, and guess what? He is back.
Yup, and it is good that Liam's brother Corey will also be coming back for a while. He was the one who developed a lot of the technological enhancements for the products they sell. I believe that a lot of the staff who worked under both of them are still around.
Yeah, I did a rough count for the past 4 years and about 70% or so of the employees are still here, so they know and respect both Liam and Corey. I sort of think Corey will serve as kind of COO, although he said that he will be just helping out.
They talk more about the transition and then leave to see some of their general managers, all of whom he have heard of the temporary change in leadership. Minji meets with Mark later that day. They obviously talk about Liam coming back to serve as CEO while Brian and Jesse work out their difficulties, among various other topics. Mark says he knows and respects Liam and is not too worried about things, although he has some misgivings which he does not tell Minji. Minji brings up the topic of organizational culture.
We were talking about the upcoming community day and thought that might be a great way to bring everyone together to have Liam talk about the company, engage in the annual community projects, and sort of get everyone energized about things.
When you get done, what are you going to do with this information?
Well, we are going to share it with everyone's name removed, of course, to see how people view corporate, if the stores have unique many cultures, and if there are consistent views among the stores, things like that.
Could I get the cultural views of my own store, like sooner? I would be interested to see if the employees' views match my own, and maybe I could change things if necessary.
Sure, I don't see why not. Since I'm doing your store first, I will send you a summary as soon as I can and we can talk about it later. By the way, changing a culture is no easy task.
Minji takes the time to explain why changing the culture is so hard before turning to other matters.
So, could we talk about prospective interviewees?
They go down the list of store employees and decide that all the senior staff should be interviewed.
Well, you could interview Calvin. He's a real character, and I am sure you would get an interesting perspective. Do you want to do a mix of males and females, or people who have been here longer, or what?
Well, I have the 4 seniors, and we could do a mix of males and females also. I think it might be good to do a mix of some full and part-time people as well.
They work on the list for a while. Eventually Mark suggests Keith as one of the part-time staff.
Keith is another character, but very different from Calvin. Being an Indian, I mean Native American, he sees things a bit differently. But I have to tell you, the guy is great.
That sounds fine. I was thinking of you, Ja, as one of the part-time females.
She notices Mark frowning for the first time, but he doesn't say anything. She decides to put her on the list. They work on a scheduling system and Minji gets ready to leave.
Mark, if you could let them know, I will be starting tomorrow as we need to do all of this soon. I'll see you then.
Minji leaves. Mark sits at his desk for a while thinking about the change in leadership and Minji's visit.
Boy, it was all business today. She was very formal. I was going to say something about volleyball, but it just didn't seem to be the place or time. I wonder what she could be thinking.
The next day Minji arrives early and starts her interviews, which last between 20 to 30 minutes. She also spends a lot of time just watching as unobtrusively as she can how the employees are interacting with each other and with customers. The last interview of the day is in the evening when Yuya arrives. Yuya has received a note indicating the purpose of the interview. As the interview nears its end.
Speaking of Mark, I used to date him. Actually, I've been trying to set up something with him again, but our schedules are so different. I'm only part-time and here mostly in the evenings, while Mark is here mostly during the day, although I see him here at night sometimes. He is a hard worker. I'm hoping to get a hold of him next week.
Just curious, wouldn't there be a conflict of interest if you two date?
Probably, but I can work at one of the other stores or at Home Electronics. I have lots of other opportunities that are actually better than this, but this is a way to get back in touch with Mark. If we start going out again, I will move to another spot.
Yuya makes a few more comments about the store and ends by telling Minji,
You know, he is really a great guy.
Minji completes her store interviews, the short survey she gave to all the employees as well as her observations, and sends a summary to Mark without any comments, except one. She says that she will go over them with him when she has more time. The one comment she has is that many employees felt some cultural elements changed when Mark became the general manager. Mark reviews the results, some of which are listed below. After reading them, he is not sure if they represent good or bad aspects about culture, but decides that he should work on at least one issue. Help Mark decide which one to focus on and why. Do you think Mark should see them in terms of good or bad cultural factors? In contrast to the old management under Kathy, you have the following options. 1. More attention to details, promptness and timeliness. 2. More emphasis on sales and customer satisfaction. 3. A pleasant place to work, but less so than under Kathy. 4. Mixed views about communications. 5. More formal and professional. 6. More team-based. 7. More fairness. 8. Review the policy on employee discretion. 9. A less convivial and party atmosphere.